Hey guys, Dr. Science here, and I wanted to go back and take a look today at an old TvC match, and specifically I wanted to talk about KBeast versus Kurasa from Evo 2010. Let's get started by going and taking a look at both of their teams. So first off, let's talk about KBeast's team of Yatterman1 and Batsu. Now he's still playing this team till this day. And it's a really strong rushdown-oriented team. Yatterman1 has a lot of really good movement. He has, good buttons. His jabs are famously very fast and high priority. He's got these to kind of rush down with, like overhead's got a huge destroying hitbox on it. So he can do stuff like that. And he's got the Batsu assist, which has some invuln on it. It can break things up if people try and jab you out of your strings. But a big feature of KBeast's team is its VAR potential, because when you land basically any random hit, you go into kendama loop, go into dive kick loops, and then you get a bunch of just unscaled damage. And he can convert that off of anti-air jabs, he can convert it off of grounded jabs, he can convert it off of spins if you're good. So it's basically just like a lot of pressure, and any hit converts into a lot of damage with the Batsu VAR. Now I want to talk about Kurasa's team of Duranjo Chun-Li. Now, Duranjo is a character who, aside from just being a waifu, was generally considered pretty high tier and was used by, a decent number of players back when the game was active. Most notably Kurasa. He did really well with the character, placed Evo top 8, as we're about to see, and he ran this team of Duranjo Chun-Li, which is generally considered sort of the strongest or most traditional Duranjo pairing. Now, he also uses Chun-Li, which is an anti-air assist, similar to Batsu, it's good as a reversal, but he's going to be using it a lot differently because Duranjo plays a lot differently than Yatter1. Whereas Yatter1 uses the invuln to cover gaps and things like that, Duranjo is largely a zoning character. She's a summon character who has two minions. There's Boyaki and there's Tonzuru, and each one of them has a few different attacks they can do, and you can only have one instance of each of them out at a time. So kind of the one that you see her use the most is the Tonzuru Rock Drop. You have to aim it either mid-screen, or right side of the screen, or left side of the screen. It's not close bar, it's left, right, mid. And you're going to be using that to keep out, and then Chun-Li assist as well, kind of to keep people off of you while you're doing your zoning. However, Duranjo does have some high damage if she lands just the right situation. If she lands a grounded, crouching mid kick or standing heavy kick, basically just like a ground to ground normal, you can start to get loops like this going. And this is kind of a bad example, but you can get a lot of loops with the rocks and the explosions and things like that going, which Kurasa used to jokingly refer to as nature walks because you got rocks and trees. Next up, I just want to kind of talk a little bit about where we were in the FGC. As everybody knows from the phrase "09ers," 2009 is when Street Fighter 4 came to consoles and when America really started picking it up. So this was 1 year later in 2010 when everybody knew that Street Fighter 4 was really taking off, and it was Super Street Fighter 4 that year. So we had 7 main events at Evo that year, and of that a full 1, 2, and 3 of them were Street Fighter. Also, the feeling of Evo was very different back then. This was the entire ballroom. Everything was held here all 3 days. It was all just right here. And this was the stage, which looks like an Evo side stage would look like today, but this was the main stage. And the Evo staff would just sit off on the side and occasionally pick up a mic to let you know what was going on. I remember at the end of Tatsunoko vs. Capcom Top 8, one of the Cannon brothers got on the mic and right away said, "Well, that was cool. I don't really think I have ever, seen anyone play this game before." So it was a very different feeling from nowadays when you have, house mics and somebody's in there pumping you up. You just kind of had one of the Evo staff sort of casually tell you what the next match was and things like that. Also, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom first came out in 2008 and then got a version upgrade in 2010, which is when it came to Wii. So this was the first year that it was on console, which is why it was at Evo. But in the same year, they announced Marvel 3 was coming out. So Everybody was really hyped for that, and it's really hard to overstate how little of a shit a lot of people gave about Tatsunoko versus Capcom already. If you go back and look at the Evo 2K vids page, this was the first year they started posting videos to their YouTube, and you can see we've got Super Street Fighter 4, we've got some Tekken up here, we've even got Marvel exhibitions that happen here, but no Tatsunoko versus Capcom videos at all. So thanks to Psycho Chronic, we actually have some cool footage, which was in-venue footage of what it was like to be in there on his Psycho Rarity channel. And let's just take a look at it real quick. So first of all, we have whatever Cannon brother jumping on the mic saying Quevin Bass because he doesn't recognize who our top players are. Fortunately, they had the correct names on stream, but you know, he was kind of like, whoever this is, up here on stage, whatever. And this was also right after Marn versus Psycho Chronic, in which Psycho Chronic picked PTX and Marn just went 0 and Alex. Didn't even go for Armor Break and just spent what felt like about a million years just running away and throwing busters. Very, very boring set. So there was like very little excitement at that point outside of people who were like dedicated to TvC. But then what happened next was this really amazing set. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we're going to see Yatterman 1 Batsu versus Duranjo Chun-Li. And Yatterman's just going to try and get in, rush down, land hits, whereas Duranjo's going to try and play a little bit more of a keep-away game, zone out with these rock drops. But already you see Yatterman 1 landing a hit into the VAR like we said, dive kick loops, gets a knockdown for more than half health gone on Duranjo already. Kurasa gets over and lands a hit though, and forces the burst out of Batsu, so he's at 0 meter. Forces a burst out of Kurasa. Nice little conversion there, but like I said, not much damage unless he lands a really clean hit. Right here though, something is about to happen. So KBeast misses a combo there, and he gets a dive kick, which is unsafe on block. Now Kurasa has Baroque Life, and Batsu does not have burst meter yet. So this is going to turn around really quick. Like I said, if you land those clean hits, suddenly a character just explodes. So now Kurasa is actually up a little bit. He manages to tag in Chun-Li to stay safe as well. Forces a burst out, so again, KBeast has got no meter to burst. Uses the Baroque there, which is maybe a little questionable, but it's alright. Kurasa just trying to get out of the corner here. Pressuring a little bit with the Baroque.
You can tell something fancy's coming up though, you can feel it. Yeah, he's doing tons of overheads. No lows whatsoever, but he's waiting to get hit something.
Yeah, and Yatter 1 just pressuring with the overhead spins this whole time. Forces the burst out of Kurasa. Gets another hit. He's just rushing down so hard. Kurasa bursts himself down to pixel life, so he just gets chipped out there. And it's turned all the way back around now. So Yatter 1 just lands a quick hit there and closes out the round. So next, let's take a look at game 2. Same teams, of course. So Kurasa immediately lands a hit here, but because he doesn't have Baroque, he has to go for a kind of a bridged combo. Gets a setup with the boulder drop. And he starts out with a pretty nice life lead. Has to burst the combo off though, so he's down to 1 meter. Yatterman 1 just trying to confirm off those spins, but ends up getting punished for it and has to burst himself. Now he's going to land a hit though. Goes into Batsu, but doesn't quite get the full dive kick loop. Lands the nice clean hit here, and even though he ends up dropping this combo, it's already 30 billion from that clean Baroque hit. Has to burst again, so now Duranjo is super low. Blocks the cross under. Good defense from Kurasa. Trying to zone out. Gets the hit. Oh, messes up his Baroque combo again, though. You can see the nerves coming into play from Kurasa a little bit more than KBeast. Gets a hit with Chun. Goes into the fancy stuff. Drops it, though. Bursts into the corner. So that right there was kind of an emotional burst from KBeast. bursting yourself down to pixel health is always a little bit of a decision where if you feel like you're on a roll with this character and you can do it with the character, it's okay. But you're putting yourself in range of chip from anything. So if he takes chip here, his next character is coming in with no burst. And yeah, right there. He takes the hit from Chun. Kurasa, that's not really a real mix-up. KBeast doing the dive kick loops, trying to make this comeback. Goes for something a little fancy there. Doesn't make it happen. KBeast trying to make this Batsu comeback happen. Forces the burst out of Chun-Li, so Chun is now down at 0. Yep, he gets the loop. So now it is a 1 mix-up game. So what happens there is Batsu kills Chun-Li. He goes for the on incoming with Duranjo coming in. You see him go for the overhead wheel kick, right? He sets that up meaty. Kurasa blocks the high meaty, but Kurasa's already read the next step because KBeast baroques it and goes low, expecting him to still be stand blocking. But Kurasa's ready for that too. Blocks the low. So then this move will whiff because he's crouching. And then Kurasa gets the punish to finish the round. Really, really great, clean finish to that round. Clutches it out at the end there, prevents a comeback. So we're going straight back into the third game. And Kurasa is now riding high off the momentum he had from that last game. He had a really clean finish, and it's clear from the way he starts playing at the start of this round that he's pumped, right? A little bit of a trade there, but a lot of the sort of zoning that wasn't really working out for him the rest of the time starts working out. He's using his Baroque really well, zoning out. Yatterman is obviously having a really hard time getting in. He's converting stray hits into a little bit of damage, you know, here and there. And then, yeah, already, Yatterman 2 from all these stray hits is almost dead, right?
Didn't get to thrive, unfortunately. And they added Yatterman 2 this one, right? Yeah.
Chun-Li tags in, get another hit, forces the burst out of Yatter 1, and he is once again at pixel health. Gets the tag into Batsu though, he's lucky that didn't get punished there. And Batsu forces the burst out of Chun-Li. Gets the crossover counter, but it's still not enough to kill Yatterman 1. Just hanging on with the pixel there in the back, because he had regenerated enough life to tank that one. Alright, gets the Batsu loop here. Gonna go into the super just to do a little bit of damage, but it's not a ton. It's a little bit. Ooh, couldn't block all the mix-ups there. But Duranjo's gonna go back into the zoning pattern. Good avoiding the tardy counter there. He gets, again, the Baroque combo, which KBeast has to burst because it's a lot of damage. Good block on the overhead. He gets this clean. Here's the tree loops. Here they come. The nature walk. Big combos, big Baroque damage. Doesn't quite get the finisher there, but he is in such a good spot at this point. When KBeast crossover counters in here, KBeast has no burst meter. Both of his characters are one combo away from death. Meanwhile, Kurasa has a Duranjo who's not going to die from this, and a Chun-Li who is at almost full health.
KBeast down to 0 bars.
Forces the burst out of Duranjo. Now, Yatter 1 has to kind of fall back sometimes on playing like this weird full screen game that he has when he's feeling a little pressured. Okay, so he manages to get Duranjo out of there, but not before taking even more damage on his Yatter 1. Another sort of pixel life burst there. And Chun-Li manages to take out Yatter 1, so it is just Batsu with no burst meter. He gets the mix up there, but drops it, right? Blocks the mix-ups. Okay, KBeast wasn't ready for that one to hit. Gets the air-to-air hit here. Goes for the Baroque. Doesn't quite finish it off, so Batsu's left with just a tiny amount of health. Batsu gets the Baroque conversion. Goes into the super in the corner, so now it is a one-touch game for either character. KBeast gets the cross up and finishes it. Gets the full comeback with Batsu, and he pops off. You can see him running around, and he goes to give Kurasa a hug here.
I'm up, guys. Hey, good luck, well played.
You can also see some kind of moron pop up in the screen here to give KBeast a high five. It's cool though when you see it, because these guys played each other a lot over the course of this year, and it was really cool to be there in person to see them after this like extremely hype set that really finally got the crowd going for TvC. Like KBeast runs up to give him a hug, which, you know, I would too if I was him. He's got these big strong arms. I bet he feels so safe. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little look back at some TvC of days gone by. We've got some exciting things coming up in the near future, though. We've actually got, we're back at Frosty Faustings again this year for another year. I'll post the link to sign up in the description below. Also, for anyone who's interested, there is a Cross-Generation of Heroes tournament at Evo Japan this year. It is a very different game than UAS. The combo behind me is burned forever into my brain. But it's also very cool, and it's going to be run on original arcade hardware. There's going to be hopefully a YouTube stream, so anyone who's interested in that, keep your eyes peeled here, and I'll let people know what the deal is with that. In the meantime, thank you everyone for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.